أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما آمين يا رب العالمين. Today inshallah we are going to learn about Mehmoz, the irregularity in the surf, and Hamza as one of our root letters. In the last class, we have the overview of the types of the irregularities in the surf. We learned there are three types: Mahmuz, Mu'tal, and Mudaf. Mahmuz is when one of our root letter is a Hamza. Mu'tal is, again, it has two types. When one of the root letter is the harf illa, then it can be misal, it can be ajwaf, and it can be naqis. And then we have the other type when there are two harf illa in the root letters. One is called al-lafif mafruq when the fa and the lam kalima are the harf illa. And then we have lafif makroon when the ain and the lam kalima are the harf illa. In the mudaf, the second and the third root letters are the same. Like here, kasasa, it becomes kassa yakusu. So inshallah today we'll see what is Mehmoz in detail. Basically, here you can see the Mehmoz can be Alfa, Mehmoz Ain, and Mehmoz Alam. Basically, Hamza is taken like any normal letter for most of the cases, but sometimes it has exceptions and a bit different rulings, and that occurs when two Hamzas come together. That is the most common case when Hamza acts little different than the normal. Otherwise, it's just normal and will be taken as a normal letter. So starting with the Salasi Mujarrad family, let's see let's say that Hamza is in the beginning, Mahmuz Alfa, we'll see that how it is going to react. Here we can see the examples from Mahmuz Alfa, Mahmuz Al-Ain, and Mahmuz Al-Lam. When Hamza here in this, in the Fa kalima, Hamza is in the Ain kalima, and Hamza is in the Lam kalima. One thing also we are going to notice here that the irregularity only creates when that Hamza that is in the root letter, it meets another Hamza or it meets an Alif. Here, one root letter is a Hamza and it creates irregularity when it meets a Hamza and it meets an Alif. These are all the families that we learned from 1 to 10. Nasra family, then we have the Allama family, the Jahada family, the fourth family, Aslama Yuslimu Islaman, Ta'allama Yata'allamu Ta'alluman, Tasala Yatasa'alu Tasa'ulan, and all these are the normal root letters. But here we are going to see with when Hamza is in the beginning in case of the Salasi Mujarrad. There are some rules that we are going to learn about Mahmuz Alfa, that in general it will be treated as mentioned that it will be treated as a normal root letter, except in some rare cases. Inshallah, we'll see the examples. If two Hamzas come together in a verb, with the first one being mutaharrik means it will carry a haraka, and the second one being the sakin, that means it doesn't have any haraka, it has to be changed according to the haraka before it. So here you can see the example. These, all the second Hamzas have the sukoon, but here first one has a fatha, the second one has a kasra, and the third one has a dhamma. So what is going to happen if the preceding harka is a dhamma? It will be changed to a waw. If the preceding harka is a fatha, it will be changed to an alif. Like here, it will be changed into an alif. If the preceding harka is a kasra, it will be changed to a ya. Like here. If it is going to happen, then this second one will be changed into a ya. And remember that when two hamzas meet, if both are going to have this one like this, it has a sukoon and it has a fatha, it is going to get a mud. Alif with the mud. Inshallah, we'll see that as well. Amala, example C. Here, Amala Yamulu Umal. Here, the Umul. Here you can see the example of the Hamza being converted or changed into a Waw because the preceding Hamza has a Dhamma on it. You can see if the preceding Harka is a Dhamma, it will be changed into a Waw. Just like this here. Amala Yamulu Umul. Next thing that we need to remember is that Hamza drops in few cases of Pele Amr, like in the example of the Surah Baqarah, ayah number 93, وَرَفَعْنَا فَوْقَكُمُ الطُّورَ خُذُوا خُذُوا خُذْ خُذُوا. Here you can see here the Hamza is dropped. So many times that you will see in the Quran that for the Fi'l the Hamza is dropped when in the cases of the Mahmuz, when the Mahmuz Fa is happening, or if we have the Fa kalima as the Hamza. The next thing to remember is when Hamza remains in few cases when it's wasl. Here you can see the Waw and the Fa here in the example. Warmer Fazan. So here you can see the wasl is happening here. Here is wasl. So Hamza will remain. Again, it's fairly but you see in few cases we do not see the Hamza, but in some cases we do see a Hamza when it's wasl. Inshallah, we'll look into other examples as well. Family 1, Samya Yasmau, we are going to put these letters Hamza, Dal, and Noon. Here you can see Azina Yazunu Iznan Fawa Azinun. You know that Fawa Samiun, Samya Yasmaus, and here you can see Fawa Samiun. Ism file has Alif and Alif. So here the meeting of Hamza and Alif is happening. So you see outside of the Quran, sometimes you see that this mud, you can notice here, this mud, Alif and mud, you are going to see. But in some of the Musaf, you do see, otherwise the Hamza and the Alif are written separately. Uzina yuzanu izan fahuwa mazunun. Alamru izan. Again, you can see and you remember and you should follow the rules of the failure like it is made from the failure mudare anta. The default version is the anta. The default sigha is anta. So here you can see the dhamma is changed into a sukoon and the failure mudare, the sign of the failure mudare is dropped, and because it is not pronounceable, we are going to add an alif, the helping alif, the alif first, which will carry a kasra, because if the third root letter or the middle root letter has a kasra or the fatha, we are going to put the alif first with the kasra, and if it has a dhamma, we are going to put it a dhamma on it. So alam izan. Sometimes you see a ya instead of the hamza as well. Wanayu la tazan. Again, the sukoon here was zarfu mazarun, mazarun, and mazanatun. Here the rules that we learned that this alif, this hamza with the sukoon, the second will be changed according to the preceding harakas that these hamzas are carrying. So here you can see this because it has a dhamma. This Hamza is changed into a Waw. It has a Fatha. Sometimes it can be written like this. It can be written like this. We can also have a formation that you mostly see in the Quran. And this is outside the Quran, but sometimes in the Quran as well. Like you will see, inshallah, we'll do the example of the Amana Yuminu, where the meeting of the two Hamza and an Aleph is happening. So here, instead of writing the Aminu, we will see that it is like Amana Yuminu with the Mad. Now here, again, you see the Kasra, the preceding Hamza as a Kasra. So this Hamza is changed into a Ya. Now see Hamza in the middle in case of Salasi Mujarrad, that is Mahmuz al-Ain. Again, in general, it is treated as normal mutata except in some rare cases. Next, Hamza can be dropped in few cases as we saw in the Mahmuz al-Fa when we were doing Mahmuz al-Fa. And again, Hamza remains when it's was. You can see the example, Afara'aita. Here you can see Hamza remains. Afara'aita lazi. Again, now we now see this is unique word because again, look here. Here it is Ra. This is Hamza, and there is Ya. We are inshallah going to see it is the example of the mortal as well when a last root letter is harfe illa. So it is quite different from the formation is quite different. The Saf Sagir can you can see the fairly especially this is only single letter. Because of this harfe illa, it is dropped while making the fairly of this ra yara. Again, you don't see any hamza here because it is dropped meeting of the two because here it is like harf illa remains here yara. This is the root letter as well, and here you can see not yara but instead of that you only see yara. Ruya yura ruyatan wa ra'ya fahuwa mar'iyun alam ra. So here we dropped the sign of the failure mudare this the ta because it is tara, and the harf illa is also dropped, so it is just single letter. La tara, here her failure is dropped, but the ta remains wazarfu mar'an. So it is quite unique because it contains one harf illa and other hamza in the middle. Then we have another example from family one, that is sa'ala, seen, hamza and lam. Sa'ala yasalu su'alan fahuwa sa'ilun. Su'ila yus'alu su'alan fahuwa mas'ulun. Because here the alif is before the hamza, so it remains like this. Sa'ilun. Su'ila yusalu su'alan fahuwa mas'ulun. But here you can notice because here the first root letter was hamza, that is why the alif came after that hamza, that is why it becomes azinun. And here you can see it is sa ilun. Sa ilun because hamza is in the middle. Then we have the examples of this these 2 points, that when hamza can be dropped and when hamza remains when it's was, and without was the hamza is going to drop. And from these failure you can see that how hamza is remaining and how it is dropped when it is failure without the wasl. Sal Bani Israel. Ask the children of Israel. So here you can see there is no Hamza because it is without the wasl. So you can see there is both types of the failure are used, sometimes with the Hamza and sometimes without the Hamza. Here again, wasalu and ask. See the wasl here. So wasalu, the Hamza remains. Fasalhu and ask him. Again, this is the fairly form with the wasl. So Hamza drops without the wasl. Was alil karyatalati. Here you can again see and ask the city. Fas'al again. So ask the children. So here you can see with the wasl, the Hamza remains. Fas'alil a'idin. So again here ask. So with the wasl, you can see there are lots of more examples in which you see the Hamza remains when with the wasl and Hamza drops without the wasl. Or this is a quite unique word. Now the next thing is the Hamza in the end in case of Salasi Mujarrad, Mahmuz Allam. It is again treated as normal because there is no change in the structure of the sentence, or we can say that there is no irregularity. So this is when we are doing the Salasi Mujarrad. Hamza is in the end as Mahmuz Allam, Hamza, Mahmuz Alfa, Mahmuz Al Ain. So Hamza is taken like any other normal letter. We also learned that for most of the cases, but sometimes it has exceptions and it has a bit different rulings. And we also learned that these irregularities happens when two Hamza come together. Sometimes Hamza meets another Hamza, or sometimes Hamza meets an alif. So there are a bit different rulings for both the cases. We learned about Salasi Mujarrad for Mahmuz al-Fa, Mahmuz al-Ain, and Mahmuz al-Lam. There is, Alhamdulillah, another example, very beautiful example. We see this root letter a lot of time in the Quran. Qara'a, Qara'a, Qaf, Ra, and Hamza from family one, and we see it lots of time. This is the case of Mahmuz al-Lam. So it is treated, let's look at the rule again. It is treated as normal because there is no change in the structure of the sentence, or we can say that there is no irregularity. قرأ يقرأ قراءة فهو قارئ. قرئ يقرأ قراءة فهو مقروء. الأمر اقرأ والنهي لا تقرأ. تقرأ وظرف مقرأ مقرئ مقرأة. So here you can see this is قرأ and Hamza is our last root letter. Now inshallah we'll see Hamza in case of Salasi Mazid Fihi. There are rules. Let's see here what are the rules. Again, it is treated as normal root letter, except in some cases. When two Hamzas meet, they are changed to Mad Badal, that we have already seen in the when we were doing the Azina Yuzanu, Azan. We have seen that when two Hamzas met, there was one Alif and there was one Hamza, and it is changed into a Mad Badal. And also recall that change to ya when kasra before it, change to alif when fatha before it, change to a waw when dhamma before it. Also, one important rule for family 8, iftaraba, hamza is blended with the ta. And we have already learned that thing in the surf studies when we are doing the iftaraba family, that it is becomes ittakhaza. When akhaza root letters, the Hamza, Ha, and Zal are used in the Iktaraba family, the eighth family. The Hamza is blended with the Ta, and that is why it becomes Ittakhaza Yattakhizu. Remember that thing that we did in the family 8. Here, Ittakhaza, see the Hamza gets merged with the letter Ta. Ittakhaza, Falimadi, Yattakhizu, Ittikhazan, Fahuwa Muttakhizun. اتخذ يتخذ اتخاذا فهو متخذ الأمر منه اتخذ والنهي عنه لا تتخذ والظرف منه متخذ. So here the Hamza gets merged with the letter Ta. Now see the family 3. We are going to, because we are doing Salasi Mazid Fihi. Now this is a Jahada family, and we are going to put the Hamza because this is a Mahmuz that we are learning, that how we are going to see the changes in the formation of the words in the Sarf Saghir. So there is not much change as you can see here. By putting these root letter Hamza, Qa and Zal, we see that in the Jahada family, we see Akhaza yuakhizu ikhazan fahuwa muakhizun. Ukhiza yuakhizu muakhazatan fahuwa muakhazun. Al-amru minhu akhiz wa nahyu anhu la tuakhiz wa zarfu minhu muakhazun. So you can see the meeting of the two Hamzas. This meeting of the Alif with the Hamza. This Mad Badal is written here. Hamza and the meeting of the Alif gives us this Hamza. This Alif Mad. Khaza, and in this Fele Khiz. So this is family 3, Salasi Mazid Fihi. Family 4, this is Aslama Yuslimu Islaman family. We are going to put Hamza, Meen, and Noon, these root letters. Into this family 4, we get Amana, Yuminu. You know that Hamza and Hamza are meeting again here. Amana, because this is just to ease the pronunciation, or with the smooth pronunciation, we get this Mad Badal, and this Amana is changed into Amana, just to smooth out, just to give the flow in the fluency. Amana Yuminu becomes Amana. Amana yuminu. Amana yuminu. Again, you can see here following the rules that when we see a dhamma, this wow becomes, and we know that this Hamza will become or change into the wow. Umina. It is Umina, which becomes Umina because of the flow in the fluency or because of the fluency. Umina yuminu. Again, amana yuminu, imanan fahuwa muminun. Umina yuminu, imanan fahuwa mu'minun. Alamin minu amin. Again, you can see amin becomes amin because of the flow in the pronunciation. Alaminu minu amin. Wanayu anhu la tumin. Wanayu anhu la tumin. So the change you can see this is highlighted when two hamzas are meeting. Amana becomes amana. Umina becomes umina, and imanan becomes imanan because of the flow in the pronunciation. Umina becomes umina, imanan becomes imanan. So this is how we are going to put Hamza, Mim, and Noon in the fourth family, Aslama, Yuslimu, Islaman. Then we have the other families. And all the rules will be applied same for all the families. Then family 5, 6, and 7. Now we are going to see what change it has in the family 8, the Iktaraba family. Iktaraba yaktaribu iktiraban. By putting this Hamza, Ha, and Zal in the Iktaraba family, we get this, the meeting of the two Hamzas. Itakhaza. Instead of this Hamza ta becomes, because the Hamza is merged into this ta or fused into this ta, and we get this ta with the shada. اتخذ يتخذ اتخاذا فهو متخذ. اتخذ يتخذ اتخاذا فهو متخذ. الأمر منه اتخذ والنهي عنه لا تتخذ والظرف منه متخذ. So here you can see this is the exception for the family 8, Iktaraba family, that the Hamza gets merged into the Ta. Here there are the rules that we just learned, that sometimes we in the Fele sometimes we get or the Hamza remains for the Fele and sometimes it can get dropped. Like this here, Akala Yakulu, you can see here the Nasara Yansuru family. We see that Unsur becomes, while we put this Hamza Kaf and Lam, we get Kul. Here it is Ukul that is dropped, and we only get this Kul. Here, Sa'ala family, by putting it into Fataha family, that becomes Is'al becomes Sal. And this is a unique that Sal Bani Israel, as we have seen in the example, La Tasal becomes La Tasal. This Hamza gets dropped. Sometimes we this remains in the Fa'il We have seen the examples with the wasl, and sometimes there are some other exceptions, and sometimes it is dropped like in the Kul, and here you can see the Sal. See here the Kara'a, when again family 1, you see the meeting of the two Hamza, the Hamza and the Alif, we get this Mad Badal. In the Kara'a family, you can see Kara'a, Kara'a, because this Alif and Hamza is going to meet. So Kara'a becomes Kara'a because of the ease in the pronunciation. Again, there is another different thing. The family, see the family, Nasara Yansuru, this Faile Mudare, you see here, this, while we put Hamza, Kaf and Lam, the Hamza, the meeting of the two Hamzas is, will give us this for the ease of the pronunciation, and that is only happens in the Ana version. While it is Ansur, so in the Hamza, we'll get a Ansur, a Akul, so that becomes Akul. Ansur, Kul, because here the two Hamzas are going to meet. So here this is just the highlighted words that are changed in these Kabir charts that you can see here. And this is how we are going to apply the rules for Mahmuz, for Mahmuz al-Fa, Mahmuz al-Ain, and Mahmuz al-Lam, while they are put into different families from family 1 to 10.